Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. We're really, truly humble to have you guys here and being able to share this information with like-minded individuals. So I'm gonna try to share my screen real quick and see if that works. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see this? Okay, awesome. So yes, my name is Nemesis Nichols. I'm the program manager for outreach and diversion for RYSE. RYSE stands for Residential Youth Services and Empowerment. So I'm gonna try to move this real quick. Okay. Let's see. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so RYSE. RYSE, we're located in Oahu in the windward side, Kailua. We are an emergency shelter, and really our mission is to provide a continuum of support that empowers Hawaii's street youth to move beyond homelessness. We really envision a community where there's no homeless youth. Here at RYSE, we have like I said, an emergency shelter, and it really is a twofold system. So we have a point of entry for everyday necessities. So we have a drop-in services that start at 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. And we service youth from 14 up to 25 years old. Serving individuals within this age, RYSE provides 24/7 emergency shelter, Kailua. And then services include medical attention, behavioral health, nutritious meals, clothes, laundry facilities, hot showers, counseling, job training, and employment assistance. We have education services, treatment referrals, and hope from qualified professional staff. So we really try to empower our youth when they're here. And as many of you guys know, it's very limited with the bed space here in Hawaii. And we are not an exception. We have so many beds that we're able to fill, but because of the clients coming in daily, they don't have to necessarily stay with us in shelter to be able to benefit from our services and the wraparound system. We have different programs, and I'm going to let Efren continue explaining those.
Yeah, so this is just a small blurb, and we're going to go into more detail. Show our shelter and housing programs. So we have 2 emergency shelters, one for our minors and one for our adults. And we offer 3 housing programs that we'll go into more detail in after this. Outreach and diversion, we operate a 24-hour mobile crisis outreach. So any youth can call that number at any time, and one of our staff will answer and maybe even and most likely respond at 1 a.m. because we're always servicing youth. Medical clinic and behavioral health. So RYSE, we have therapists on site and at all of our housing projects as well. And we also have a partnership with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. So they are a provider that comes to RYSE 5 days a week just through our different programs. So they're at shelter twice a week. They do outreach with us as well, and they go see our other housing projects. Our access center is our 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. That is our shelter, but they can come, like Nemesis just said, they do not have to be residing at our shelter to receive services. And then education and employment services is also on shelter as well. So our shelter, so we have 10 male beds, 10 female beds, and our minor shelter can hold up to 5 males and females. Drop-in services are available 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And really the goal of our shelter is to equip our young people to move into permanent or transitional housing. It's a place where our staff can kind of evaluate them so we can see what are their needs. Do they need to really stay for a little while and work on their mental health? Or do they need support with job training? Or do they need help writing a resume? Or do they want to go to college? It's really a place for our young people our staff to really stop and see what are the needs of our young people before they transition.
Yeah, like Efren is saying, it's definitely tailored. It's not a cookie cutter program. We really go in depth and try to build, that rapport with the client and see exactly what are their needs. And just to clarify, we have adult shelter, and in a separate building, we have a minor shelter. A lot of the clients that come in are runaways, and we do check for the runaway status or if they have you know, the coverage with, you know, if they're part of they have a government case going on and so forth. But for runaways, we have partnered with law enforcement, and, you know, just try to work that situation where, you know, before that partnership, we were required to call 911 or HPD and have that police officer remove the client, the minor, from the shelter, which can be very traumatizing to the client and for others that stay here. We want to make sure that they see this place as a safe haven, right? And just try to advocate for victims as well. So after that partnership, now we already know the officers that work for the island of Oahu that run the reports for the runaway status and so forth. So we just connect with them. They come here, they don't wear uniforms, and then they meet with our client and just kind of sit with them and make sure that they're safe, that they're well taken care of, that they're going to school. We include the DOEs. So it's just really, you know, it's a lot of work, but it's been working, and it's just a more inclusive way to doing things.
Yes, so our housing. So once our young people are ready to transition out of shelter, we have a lot of housing projects available. So our first one is transitional housing, our Makiki project. So that project, they consider for up to 2 years, and they pay $200 a month. And at the end of their stay at the Makiki project, they get all of that money back. So it's really just a savings program for them to kind of get used to paying monthly rent expenses, even though $200 is not rent anywhere here, but it's at least getting into that habit of assisting. It's also a therapeutic environment. So we have a therapist on staff from 9 to 5, as well as like a house mom, which is called a site coordinator, whose sole job is to kind of help foster community in that house. So that is, you know, they go on weekly outings and they go to movies. They just kind of hang out and create community. This house specifically is for victims of crime as well. So it's funded through our VOCA grant. We then have our Haleiwa project, which is subsidized housing. So that house is $650 a month, and any youth can live there. It's like just like how we would find a house. They sign a lease, they pay their rent, they, you know, have to listen to a few rules, not be too rowdy, but they can stay there until they're 25. And then we have our Rycroft house, which is our house for seriously mentally ill youth. So that is permanent supportive housing for our youth who do have mental illness, who really don't have opportunities to work or to really move past, who really need support. So we have case management, we do have staff on site there as well, and a therapist that goes there.
And to add to that, we started, you know, when RYSE started, we saw difficulty trying to connect with, you know, just the community, to be able for the community to open up and be flexible with, you know, the clients. So we're competing with a lot of military, right? Where if they don't pay the rent, that automatically goes into the chain of command and they will get in trouble. So if I'm renting a place, and of course it's going to be my go-to, or somebody that is maybe in the eyes of that person less trouble, quote unquote. So for this reason, we started a program where our clients get a certificate. And then the basically is for housing, right? The housing certificate, where they go through, you know, how to read the contracts and what are the stipulations when you rent, what do you have to adhere to, and just the community rules and so forth. And that just kind of, it's an extra layer of insurance for the renter to, you know, just be a little bit more open. And it has worked very well.
Yeah, it's really helpful because most of our youth have never been housed. So it's giving them the tools that many of us take advantage for, because we kind of know what a lease is and know not to punch a hole in our wall, you know, things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move into outreach and diversion. Outreach team, we have a team of outreach, and it operates 24/7 through our MCO phone. So any of the clients can call this number at any time, and we're gonna be able to assist them. We also have our van, if you guys see in the picture, has all of the design for RYSE. And this van, basically, this is what we use for outreach. And it just allows the privacy and, you know, the client deserves to sit down and just fill up some paperwork after the outreach worker has built that rapport with the client and they feel comfortable sharing. And this is just kind of the point of entry and the filtering system into all of the services. With youth, we understand that, you know, we can tell them, hey, we're here in Kailua, you can come to our shelter, but not a lot of them are going to just walk up in here because we tell them to do so. So we know that we have to outreach to them, especially when they have been, maybe don't have the best, you know, experience with the adult system, right? And I think this is the beauty of our outreach team, is that they're young, and a lot of the outreach workers have been clients at some point. They have learned how to use all of the services to their advantage, and they have moved forward beyond homelessness. So they know how to connect with this client. They have been walking on the same shoes. And we have a peer program where clients can, you know, once they're stable and they feel like, hey, I want to take that extra leap and get work, but I'm not ready to go work at the economy, then we try to do the peer engagement, and they eventually become outreach workers. So we conduct outreach with, you know, our partners. So we do YO, which is downtown Honolulu, youth outreach. We partner with also H3RC, harm reduction, and Achieve Zero. So we do morning shifts and evening night shifts. And a lot of the outreach also joins the community policing events. The mobile crisis outreach team assists with meeting individuals in the community to begin the continuum of care and end their homelessness. So basically, this is really a pivotal moment for us to really catch our clients and just connect them through all of the other services that we have. Outreach and diversion. So we are currently expanding our diversion clients, preventing recidivism through trauma-informed practices. Efren conducts enrich and also Melissa to OCCC twice a week. And that's very, very crucial to be proactive instead of being reactive at this point, and just build that relationship with the client before. And they do such a good job, you know, being there for every court hearing and just advocating for the client. RYSE and Kinai Eha, we provide proof of enrollment. So once Efren and Melissa have met the client, interview the client, and then they think that the client is a good fit for the program and the eligibility, it's there, then we'll provide the supporting documentation for the judge, making sure that we let them know, hey, if you give this client basically another chance, we'll be here, we'll be the support system. And then the partnership with Kinai Eha, and then they are able to help us with a supervised release. So I'm going to let Melissa explain a little bit more about her partnership. It's really crucial for us.
So like Nemesis said, we do inreach into OCCC to meet inmates that could benefit from our program. I also do inreach into the youth correction. And because we're on the same campus as the youth correction, they are allowed to work furlough during the day to us and then go back to the jail at night. They also are able to do early paroles to our residential. We are able to provide supervised release for inmates that are eligible, and we ensure that they make it to all their court hearings. They make all the stipulations of their parole or probation, so they get transported to probation appointments, to drug tests, to they get substance abuse through RYSE. They come up to us instead of us going to them, which is great. We provide them with training in construction fields, but not only construction, custodial, landscaping, and pretty much can support them in any field they want to go into. The reason why we choose construction is because it provides them with a livable wage, which is important in Hawaii, so that they don't feel the need to commit crimes to to be able to afford to live here. They do earn a stipend so that they can start saving money and have money to be able to buy things that they need. Then we also help them with the wraparound case management to get housing assistance, SNAP assistance, MedQuest assistance. We provide them with therapy once a week. That could be individual or family, depending on the situation. We also provide them with cultural identity. So many of our boys need, or girls, we need that confidence or a boost in self-esteem, just encouragement that they can do those things and who they are and where they come from. So we support that, and they have to learn many different things, but also we teach them Olelo Hawaii. And they are able to do their GED program here, or if they choose to, they can go to any of our community colleges that we have partnerships with, or trade schools. We really just try to be that support system so that they can be successful when coming out of incarceration, or to prevent incarceration. So we have many referrals through probation, and we try to catch them before they enter. But if you guys have any questions, I think I covered a lot of stuff, but I'll leave my email in the chat also, so you guys can reach out.
Thank you, Melissa. And like I said in the beginning of the presentation, it's a twofold with RYSE. We have the access points of the drop-ins every day for our center. And the second one is just basically once they're here, then we just draft a detailed plan of action for the clients. And that includes the housing, BH, diversion, and just kind of, you know, filling all the gaps from the different angles. So we do provide case management if they're staying at the shelter or if they're just a drop-in. Once the client is housed, and that's why we really want to intensify the continuum of care, because once they're housed, it's not just we drop them off, hey, bye, you know, it was nice meeting you. We really want that continuum and this checkup. So that's where our case managers go back and forth after that move to make sure that the client, you know, it's okay. Because a lot of the times staying at the shelter, you're surrounded by a lot of staff and other clients. And the number one thing that, you know, they go through is loneliness. And, you know, they're so used to all of the support. And once they move out, they just don't know how to handle that. So we're mindful of that. Our team also helps them with the retrieval of vital documentations. You know, we know that when they're getting out of OCCC, a lot of them, they don't have the documents, don't have an ID, and so forth. You want to add something?
Oh yeah, well, so I wanted to add about Nemesis. Whenever they move into housing, they still get case management, like she said, but it's also diversion. We're still there to help them if they have any legal issues, fines, or anything. We have a designated education implement counselor just for house clients. We have a designated behavioral health person just for house clients. So it's still like, it's not just one person. They have a village whenever they get moved into housing. So sorry, I just wanted to.
No, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. Moving from that, we also pay for their core fines and fees. So if they have any court issues, fines and fees that they need to manage. You know, as a prior probation officer, I worked in the First Circuit. My clients, a lot of them, the two biggest thing is I don't have a job. I can't pay the estimate $30 a month, right, to abide by the conditions. And I don't have a cell phone to make the appointments. If my clients were homeless, then it was really hard for us to communicate and for the client to stay, you know, just NAPA, like probation. And because of the sweeps, that's really hard to maintain. So, you know, now on the side, I see the need for that. So we do pay for the core fines and fees, and we provide with cell phones, and not just to diversion clients, but all over RYSE's clients, but especially if they need that communication with parole or probation, that it's possible. We also provide legal assistance by a licensed attorney. So basically when Efren and Melissa go and conduct in-reach, they just talk a little bit about how comfortable does the client feel with their legal representation. We want to honor the client's choice. So if the client feels like, hey, like my attorney is doing great, communicative, and he's very responsive, or she's very responsive, I feel comfortable with my legal representation, then we'd respect that. But if it's otherwise, we offer them the assistance by our attorney. Bail assistance is something that we're still building. Depending on the amount, RYSE is able to pay for the bail and release the client. And you know, I became part of the transformative justice task meeting, and I met amazing people, and this is why it's so important to, you know, reach out to you guys. And soon from Faith Action for Community Equity, you know, she has been assisting for those clients that need bail relief. So a couple of weeks ago, we had a client, it was a recurrent RYSE client, went to OCCC, enriched the client, and then we connected with Faith Action, and they actually were able to pay the bail for the client, and the client was released to RYSE and took one of our beds at the shelter. So it's really amazing to see how, you know, just everybody, you know, it's like-minded and want to make this work.
And we also offer behavioral health and medical health. So we have therapists here on site, you know, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, sometimes more. We're changing up the hours so that, you know, we do realize that crises don't just happen on 9 to 5. And we also have a lot of agency partners. So like I said, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies comes Mondays and Wednesdays and more as needed with her big van that is medically equipped to do so much, and it's protected and it's safe, and it's a safe place for our clients to ask any medical questions that they have, STD, HIV testing, things like that. We also have Project Vision, Waikiki Health, Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center, and others, so that our youth who don't have to worry about medical coverage to get help or have to go far, because a lot of our youth do have stigma when it comes to medical health clinics, hospitals, and things like that.
Oh, going back to our BH, I also wanted to highlight that we conduct substance abuse weekly, and then we also do court-mandated substance abuse, which we do with up in Kinai Eha, and anger management.
Mm-hmm. And education and employment. So our education and employment program is quite diverse and large. They help from anything from helping with making a resume, which many of these clients have never done before or don't know how to do. Education counseling. So a lot of our clients are in GED or high school reentry for our minors. So a lot of their job is, when we do get minors, making sure they're going to school, seeing how their grades are going. In our GED courses, there's an incentive program for perfect attendance. And they also help with college applications. So many of our clients, FAFSA, if you're a first generation college student, is crazy and so confusing. So that is what they're there to do, is help walk them through that process when so many have to do it alone. We also help clients get their driver's license, and we help them go through that process as well.
You want to talk about
our partnerships. Oh yeah, our partnerships, sorry. So we also have our 4 for 40 program. So a lot of our youth, like we said, don't have documents when they come into our program. So it's extremely hard for them to get jobs. So our 4 for 40 program is, we actually have a farm that they can go down to, and they can work on the farm for 4 hours and get $40. Or sometimes we need the bunkhouse to be clean. So if they clean the bunkhouse, or if we need our outreach cars to be washed, they can clean the cars, and we can pay them for, or do the garden. Like, there's so many options that we're willing to pay for them for. We also have a financial literacy course called Money Smarts, which they can take, which teaches them about money management, budgeting, and how to pay your rent and how to do your taxes. And we have a ton of union partnerships. So we have partnerships with construction, the hotel industry, which is cooking. And we also have this brand new program with our healthcare nurse aid program that just finished. And I believe we had 5 of our clients graduate from that program and go into being a nurse aid.
I wanted to add that for our farm, Kupa'aina, that also it's an incentive for the clients to reconnect, you know, with their culture. So that's something that has been a really good opportunity for them, and they have feel that connection, and they just have fallen in love with the work that they do there. Okay, thank you guys so much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask.
I just want to say thank you so much. Everything that you outlined, we need in the adult system. So thank you so much. And I also just received an email that RYSE just got a $20 million grant from Kellogg Foundation.
Yes.
So the $1 million grant was the preliminary grant, but then they got the big Megillah. These guys are so awesome. Thank you so much, Nemesis and Carla and Efren and everybody. You are just amazing and doing a community service that has been missing for a long time. So thank you so, so much.
Thank you guys, and thank you for Melissa, for our partner. It's really, the Kellogg's is for the whole campus, Kailua, so we're really excited to, you know, take this cultural-based approach.
Okay, thank you so much for all the work that you've been doing, and we're looking forward to our continued partnership. You know, now that we have established it, working together, you know, throughout the many different challenges, you know, from even the youth side, and all of our efforts really is focused on not having people incarcerated, those that really can provide much better, you know, commitment and become members of the community that are contributors before and even preventing that from happening to begin with. And that's the work that you do up front. So thank you again. You know, we're all on board and support each other here.